About you and how you started to do your whole bodybuilding at 60. Yeah, so. But yeah, so I'm glad you're here. I love the hair.
Thank you. Thank you. This is because I experimented with a new hairstyle.
Yeah.
And when I finished with the hairstyle, just ripping the extensions out, and just saw the line where I had pulled it completely out, and I was like, you know what? To make myself feel better, I'm just going all out.
Yeah. Well,
and so I just flipped the entire script.
Yeah. And that's good.
Thank you.
That's good.
And then I want to talk to the girls about standing up, standing out. So I gotta.
We'll be right back. Lovely Dana Hammond in the building. So, you were describing the pageant and the BU and how we should be empowering women as they grow up, starting from, out the womb for that matter, and building them up so when they get into environments or come across people that don't have their best interest at heart, whatever they say to them rolls off their backs.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
So from this pageant, things have, grown with your vision. So let's hear about that.
So I had been thinking about it for a while, but I wanted to find a way to reach the young ladies besides pageant, because people hear pageant and they think glitz and glamour. But what if my little girl isn't the glitz and glamour type, So I was like, okay, Lord, tell me what to do. So I started. And I called myself jotting down. I was like, at first, I was looking at different books and different references, like, I'll just take that and mix it up a little bit and make it my own. But as I started and doing that, something was like, that's not it. And so one day, and I kid you not, it was a Monday, I was dropping my husband off at work, and something said, write. So I took out my notebook, and I wrote down each topic. And as I wrote the topics, I'm searching scripture, whatever scripture jumped out at me and stuck, I wrote it down. So from that, I took the topic and the scripture, stories, thought of either stories that were true to life or one of the stories in the book. It was a part of a real life story, but I didn't want to give all the details, so I mixed it up a little bit. But the rest of the stories are actually true life stories. It's 8 weeks, and each week has a scripture. It has a story. It has an interactive activity, and it also has a memory verse. So the book is really for a booklet. It's really for someone who is striving to teach their child about spirituality and the Bible, because that's what it's based on. Okay. So for the person that's not necessarily trying to teach their children about the Bible, I'm not sure how that would work, because I feel like as far as the Word and the Bible, that's what can actually hold them, and when they do get into those situations, they can reflect on what they've learned from the Bible. It's like a computer. They say it's like a computer. Whatever you put in, you hit that button, you'll be expecting something to come back out. And that's what I want this word to be. So they can take the word, they can hear a nice lesson that will catch their attention, and then there's always an activity behind each one, and then a memory verse. And then at the end, there's affirmations for them to practice, and they can do these daily, on a daily basis. And also the song. Remember, we had the song during the pageant? Yeah. So the song is also in the book. But the weeks, they talk about basically finding out just who you are from birth, your physical characteristics, your character, your flaws, as some people call it. It also talks about judging people. It talks about how you get different characteristics from your family, your family physical resemblance, and how that can play a part in your life. It also talks about being a friend, not being a bully, because that's where a lot of the self-esteem issues come from. on the bully's end even, because they have low self-esteem. So they find someone who they feel is on a lower level or less than them, and they pick on them, and that's what they thrive on. So one of the topics talks about that. It talks about being an achiever. It even talks about being a good steward over the gifts and talents that God has blessed you with. So it's 8 weeks. Like I said, it's scripture. There are stories in it. There are interactive lessons. There's even a community service opportunity that if there's a class that does the study, they can do that activity together as a group. There's also one the week where you do Be a Bestie, Not a Bully. There's a Be a Friend challenge. And so they are challenged in the book, because they have to write it down. They're challenged to go and mingle or meet up with or just introduce themselves and become friends with someone who they see who's been shunned or who's off by themselves or who seems secluded. And that's going to be a challenge for them for that week, to be a bestie, not a bully. You know, and if they hadn't encountered bullying, they may even be the bully. And by this time, by week 5, I'm hoping that something in them says, you know what, I probably shouldn't tease people who are different. I probably should try loving on people. Hopefully by week 5, they will have gotten the point if they're on the bullying side of it.
All right. Okay. So, and is this something done at your church?
No.
Okay.
No.
So
it's
they can
just
contact you and
they contact me. If they'd like to purchase the book, they can contact me. If they'd like to schedule for me to come out and talk to the girls, I love the kids, and it's not necessarily girls. I do have the butterfly. And I've been hearing, oh, well, the butterfly, but my symbolism for the butterfly is you start here at this point, but this is where it comes out on the end. And that's what I want to relay to young men and young ladies. It's not just for young ladies, because young men deal with self-esteem issues as well.
Yes,
but they can reach me to get a copy of the book or booklet, or they can actually schedule me to come to their location to teach it to their girls group. And that is an 8-week commitment. And I'm willing to do that because I really want them to get it.
Right.
And even if there are instructors at the place, they can still make a way for them to get the booklets as well. And also there is a sponsorship opportunity for businesses. Let's say you're a business owner and you don't necessarily have a relationship with a school or organization where you do business. You're able to come in at a sponsorship level. And by you sponsoring, you're buying the book, you're buying them a BU pen, and you're also buying them a BU t-shirt that they could wear to the class for those 8 weeks. And what that allows is giving you advertising, because on the back of that t-shirt will have your business branding on the back of it, which will get you in there with the community, showing that you're doing community service, you're giving back. And you could even, as a business owner, the business owner could even go in a week or 2, take something. I mean, it's just, and it's not all about business, but at some point you got to give back. You got to show people that you're human and that you care about the community where you serve and where you make your money.
Right.
But my name is Dana Hammond. I can be found on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm DH Consults 2.0 because I also have a small business consulting business. I just consult small businesses. If they trying to get started, I say they put their foot in the water, I'm the one that pushes them in the water. You know, if they step out the boat, I'm the one that pushes them in the water. So I do that as well. But DH Consults 2.0 on Instagram. On Facebook, I'm Dana Hammond. My nonprofit is Our Beautiful Beginnings online, and BU is the book. BU, 8 weeks of self-love and discovery. It's a short read, but like I said, there are activities in it as well as memory verses, and it is scripture-based. And my number is 832-379-0358 if you'd like to reach me, or you can email me at dhconsultinghouston, dhconsulting, Houston @gmail.com.
Cool. So you've got all the contacts if you want to be a part of this great movement as far as being you and developing self-love and discovery. So I like the word discovery because that has been, I guess, a pinnacle in my life to do that. You know, I'm currently writing a book myself, but
awesome.
we tend to lose ourselves with the outside world. And it's hard to discover really what we have inside. And the way we do that is if we sit in solitude, if we're alone, if we're, quiet. That's when God speaks, or this is when you can get visions and such. And so what happens is that most people today is scared of silence. And when I was teaching, I'm like, it's just time to be quiet. No one wants to be quiet. And I think it's because they block out pain, or they're blocking out, things that happen to them, and it's just so much better to hear the chatter. But what it does is that it just prolongs the healing process.
It does.
It prolongs, getting better for yourself. And then if that leads into adulthood and then having children,
yes,
it extends.
And the cycle
even
continues.
Longer.
Yes.
And so the discovery word and self-love and just loving who you are and your individual and your individuality is what screams so much inside that's the part that wants to come out, and we cannot keep holding it down.
Yes.
Tyler Perry said something that, other people's dreams, I guess, are tied into us. And that's true. You might be somebody's inspiration. You're a parent or older sibling or whatnot. But when people see you, they're supposed to see an inspiration so they can be inspired to do something too.
Right.
And it just, us doing our part just unlocks that for somebody else. So I'm happy that you are tapping into the youngsters, because it's just not girls, but to the youngsters, and making sure that they see themselves. So so when we talk about discovery, have you been to a place where you felt like you needed to discover you, and what age did that happen?
Oh, shucks. I was bullied as a youngster. My self-esteem was low for years. I mean, a number of years, due to some physical things that I had going on. And it took someone else to help me discover who I was. It was a good friend of mine. We were hanging out, and I was going out, and this was 21 years old. And we were going out, and, and I was just, I had the facade that I was confident when I would go out. But secretly inside, it was like, nobody really, they don't really want me. They just want my body, just to be honest, And yeah, girl, I was fine, Sunny. I wasn't Sunny fine, but I was. No, but it took someone else to actually teach me, girl, what are you talking about? Girl, you bad to the bone. And just being around that person, that's why your circle is so important, and the people who you deal with. Yeah. But she pumped me up so much, Sunny, you couldn't tell me nothing. I mean, nothing, honey. You couldn't tell me I wasn't the bomb. But just being around her, and it just made me realize, Dana, in spite of, you are still pretty. You're still all that. And so from that, and even after having things taken care of, it's like, okay, sure, you can't tell me nothing. And so even with my kids, as they've grown up, I just encourage them. You're pretty. I mean, any little girl that's around, any kid, period. I love the children. I love encouraging and inspiring them, especially those that tend to be mousy or kind of quiet. Yeah. So I take that as, okay, when I didn't have someone to say, girl, you got this, go for it. I'm that person that's going to push them and say, girl, you so cute.
And you got this.
You have to encourage people. I feel like if they come within so many feet of you, if you feel like something is off about them, give them a reason to smile. See everyone as if, pretend they have a sign on them that says, make me feel important. And that's how I feel about people. Complete strangers, kids, adults, whoever it is. Just make them feel important. Make them feel worthy, because you never know what the next person is going through. True. You never know. And that kind word, that smile, could actually save them from going home and blasting their head off. You just never know.
No,
you never know.
So your self-discovery started when you one of your good friends told you, girl, you got it going on. You better cut that out.
Yeah, and she could just see it because I never verbally even said, this is my issue.
Are y'all still friends today?
Oh, yeah. We are. We don't talk every day, but she knows. She knows. And one day I just broke down crying on the phone with her. I was like, thank you for believing in me. And she was like, girl.
Yeah, it only takes one.
Yes.
And the people that discover it, it's just like, girl, you know you had that all along. Yeah, so okay. So when did you start getting into a point to where you wanted to help others to do that?
Once I was enlightened and really anybody who I came in contact with, period. Because when I was working, one of the stories in the book, when I was working with one of the young ladies at this, she was a summer job employee, but I was of course I was an adult at this time. But even then, I could just tell from her posture and everything that her self-esteem just wasn't where it was supposed to be. Just in her little comments about the little fellas, because she was a senior in high school. And just the little comments. And so slowly but surely, I started just encouraging her. Girl, you cute. Oh, look what you have on. Girl, look at you. What did they say about you today at school? What was going on? What did that little boy say? And I just encouraged and just fed, just built her up. And I promise you, maybe a year or two after we were not working together, she got in contact with me and she thanked me. She said because that's what she needed, because she did not have the esteem. She thought nothing of herself. And she would have said, why you say that? I'm not cute. What do you see? And I guess I'm just crazy because I see beauty in everybody. Right. Because I feel like God made somebody for everybody. Yes. So, you might not like my big nose, but someone else is going to love that big nose on you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why the self-love comes into play, because some people will take what you feel is something bad and they'll exaggerate it. They'll, push it. They'll make it even more. They'll increase it. I don't even know how to say it. But you have to just love every bit of yourself, every single part, every little bitty thing. The bad things, work on them. Turn them into good, whatever.
Right. So, after you having the self-discovery and you preaching that and believing in that, have you had any struggles? So are you born and raised here? Okay. So born and raised, you never left. This has been your home forever. Okay. So you're in corporate America, or you?
I am full-time entrepreneur.
Okay, so great. I love entrepreneurs. So when did you decide to leave corporate America?
Oh, Jesus.
And why? Yeah, let the world know. Corporate America, I left back in 2016. There was an incident. Me too.
Yes, girl. But there was an incident at work with a gentleman. And just as we're sitting here, it was a table with all corporate people. And I was the only in the room and in that position. So my supervisor was getting onto one of the managers in engineering, and he said, let Dana do her job. She knows what she's doing. And instead of him lashing out at my supervisor, who is another kind, he almost came across the table at me. And so
hit you?
No, not trying to hit me, just yelling and screaming and, just really, no, girl, no, because my husband worked there.
Oh, my God.
And the way my husband is set up, I think both of us
You said come across the table means.
No, that means he was just really aggressive, and Sunny, I'm not sure how much you know about Houston now, but I've lived in Fifth Ward, I've lived in Scenic Woods, I've lived in Northwood Manor. Those are the hoods, and I could go real hood, but I maintained my composure, and but I suppressed it, and it made me feel. And one day I was sitting in my cubicle, and I heard a voice, a foreigner's accent. I started shaking, tears came in my eyes, and I had a pure anxiety attack, and I was like, you know what, I can't, because they never addressed the issue with him. No, he went on vacation, and they said, oh well, when he comes back, we'll talk to him. But you had all these managers. Everybody was there. Everybody was in this meeting. And so at that point, I talked to my husband, and he was like, no, because that's taking a bad effect on you. No. And that's when I left. And I did go back to work after that at Neiman Marcus in the Galleria, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Fitting bras, and I still love that. But there was an instance where, you know, you have young people, and sometimes young people don't really mix well with older people who have that old school mentality.
The millennials.
You know, so that didn't quite work. And so I had a conversation with my husband, and he messed up and said, well, if you do that, we'll be all right because I'm working. You're regretting that now, honey, huh? No, but he, when he said that, I was like, okay. And to be honest with you, Sunny, as far as discovery, oh my God, these past few months have been discovery, because it's teaching me that, Dana, everything that you've needed has been in you. It's time for you to pull it out and just go ahead and walk in it. And that's actually what I'm trying to do. That's why I'm glad you encouraged me. Girl, come on here today, because, you know, self-doubt can still creep in. I don't care how confident you are. I don't care how high your self-esteem is. Self-doubt can creep in. You can still have a lack of confidence, because secretly, somewhere in the back of your mind, oh, well, what if I don't do good? What if it doesn't turn out right? But you still have to be confident and know that it's going to work out. You just have to go for it. Like Dorian Marie, she's an artist that I met not too long ago. One of her books is titled Finish It. I love it. Finish It. Her name is Dorian Marie, and she's also a singer as well. She has, I think, 2 different albums, but one of her books is Finish It, and that just rings in my head. I have not read her book yet, but I'm like, Dana, yeah, go ahead. You have to. You have to, and I just have to go. I have to. I think I have a message that I need to get out to these youth, because a lot of times they make decisions because they don't have that confidence. They don't have that esteem. They let that little boy whisper in their ear, and he tells them whatever. And because they don't have that confidence, they're doing this or they're doing that. Or they're letting anybody just tell them anything and they're going for it. But we have to instill in them, you're confident, you're smart, you can make your own decisions. You can be what you want to be. You know, you don't have to settle. Even in relationships, you do not have to settle. So I'll get off my soapbox because I will.
I know. So we'll be back. We'll be back on that note. Okay, girls. Let's talk about. So we got 15 minutes left. What you want to talk? I think. Yeah, we do.
I don't know.
What you thinking about?
I don't know. I know we should have had a dog on. I gotta get you back for your exercise class. That was so much fun.
It was
Sunny.
fun. Yeah.
We need to do something with kids. What about kids fitness or something? I don't know. We have to work on something, because a lot of the issues sometimes could be with their weight and not knowing how to eat healthy, because you teach healthy, you teach the food too, right? The nutrition, the healthy nutrition.
Yeah,
we need to work on something like that for the kids. Get fit kids or something. You know, the way my mind goes, I'll make up a whole logo and everything before you know it. But we need to do something. I think that'll be good.
Be You Fit Kids.
Yeah.
There it is.
Be You Fit
Kids.
Yes. And there it is. See, y'all, look at that. Y'all seeing magic in the making. That is good. That is good. Because that is a lot weight. I'm pretty sure they get teased when they are a little overweight. But one of the things that I say in my book is, let me read it, that sometimes God gave you the trait to show others how to love themselves.
You can say that. All right.
Okay.
Welcome back. So let me tell you, the second time I ran into Dana, she reached out to me. So the first time was the pageant, and the second time, I am the fitness lady.
Yes,
She reached out to me and was like, "Can you come? We're doing a fitness. What was the day?
It was a health fair at my church.
It was a health fair at the church, and so she wanted a trainer to come there and work out. The church from 0 to 99. A workout from 0 to 99. And I gave them a workout from 0 to 99.
And it was good. It was lovely.
And it was good. I set up some circuits that was simple enough for everyone to participate, and it turned out to be a very successful event. So, we were just talking about. She was talking about me coming back.
Yes.
And she was like, "We gotta get you back. We gotta get you back."
Yes.
And she was like, "The kids, what about the kids?" And so we're just sitting up here talking about, since her logo is, or her name of her book and who she represents is BU. And I was like, well, what about BU Fit Kids?
Yes, and that'll be awesome.
Yes, and then she was going to read an insert from her book in regard to that, because you wanted to, because now the youth, it's about their weight and and so you think they're getting a lot bullied for their weight and whatnot?
Yes, I believe so. Because everyone is not born. Everyone doesn't come in and they're gonna just naturally only be 80 pounds, or naturally gonna be 125, or naturally gonna be whatever the healthy weight is. But one part of the book at the very beginning, as a matter of fact, it's during the first week, just a small excerpt. It says, if you have he created you exactly how he wanted you to be. If you have a physical characteristic that is not common, God gave you the trait to show others how to love themselves, or to show how he can deliver you from it and give him all the glory for what he has done in you. So let's say you were born and you have some kind of malformation or something. You have, an extra something. Yeah, it may not be meant physically, surgically. You may not even be able to have that thing removed, from your body. And so because you're in that situation, that's just a reason for you to just show other people, yeah, this may be wrong with you, but you're still normal. You can still be loved. You're still, a special person. And if God brings you out of that situation, then there's a testimony. Well, this is how I started, but this is how I ended, and this is how it's finished. So it's always either it can be a test, it can be a testimony, and it can always be a testament to someone else, even if it is just your physical. If you were a person that just couldn't control your weight, and you got to the point where you could control your weight, then you can be a testimony to that person. Sure. Yes, when I was 13, I was 200 pounds when I was 13. But look at me now, I'm 21, and I've changed myself, and I've become more fit, and I work out, and I eat better. And so this is how these little small improvements, or even just in the beginning of the book, it's just about really just getting to know who you are. Just basically, just getting to know physically, just that however God created you, that's how he wanted you to be. And then there are things that you can work on eventually, but it's first about just appreciating who you are and things that you can't change. Because that's a lot of the stuff that people tease people about, things that they can't change. Why would you tease a child who has Down syndrome? They can't change that. Right. So why would you make fun of that? They're special, and they're special for a reason, because God designed them to be that way. And we even want them to realize, he made you that way. You're special, baby. You're unique.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody. I don't care how good looking he is or how good looking she is. She might have ugly toenails. So you just can't assume that everyone is perfect. Right.
Right. So, what is the vision for this?
BU, when I first started, I was talking with a friend of mine, Alicia, the one that was the photographer for the pageant. Do you remember Alicia? Really, really sweet, lovely. But she, I was telling her then I wanted it to be like a movement, because eventually I wanted to have like a magazine where all the contributors are children or the youth. They're talking about different subjects that they're interested in. As far as a program, I wanted the BU Kids Center, and I wanted it to be a multi-purpose center. And I'm saying wanted because I'm still declaring and decreeing that it will happen. But I want that to be a center where they can come for everything. I used to drive up and down 1960 and tell my husband, one of these days I'm going to have a youth center, and I'm going to have requirements that they have to have some type of Bible study. I don't even know how legal that is to require them to have Bible study to participate in all the programs, but I feel like that the Word is just such a solid foundation for them to build on. But eventually that's what I want. I want kids to be able to come there, and anything that they're interested in doing, anything that they want to do, anything that if they want to do community events, we'll have a space where we can go and prepare lunches or get clothes together. One of my nieces, she just made me feel so good. I'm like, girl, you're on my knees. She said, hey, Dana, I want to do something with giving back to other people because it's a lot of kids at my school. They don't have as much as we do. And my mama, she goes to work hard and she buys us all this stuff and we don't even need all of it. So I want to start giving back to other kids who have less than I do. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? And she was like, yes, ma'am. That's something I want to do. And so as a matter of fact, I need to follow up with her on that so we can get a project together.
These just came into my head right now. That could be something you could do quarterly and have the children go through their items and clothes and shoes that they're not wearing anymore. And then maybe every quarter you can do a drive or giveaway or some type of project where people can come pick it up in a community or whatnot. And the children give it away.
That's true. That would be good. And they love it. You have kids who just love giving to others. It just makes them...
Well, there's a lot of children out here that don't love giving to
others. Oh, you're sure right. Oh, yes. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, man, so you have a lot of things in the works about the youth and your belief in the youth. You know, I have the belief in the youth, too, because they're our future, and we got to make sure that they get fed the right, way, because so much is happening in the world, and things can get out of hand, and we want to make sure that we have some form of control and not misleading them, because yes, there have been parents that has failed, or some part of this generation have failed the youth today, and no one's to blame, but everybody's to blame, so to speak. And it is everybody's responsibility in regard to seeing somebody that's hurt or broken. You are supposed to pick them up, especially if you have the means and the wherewithal and in your right mind and the whole nine. I think that so many of us are selfish in living life and not helping their brother or sister, and we should be able to do better. We're going into 2020. And it needs to be of forgiveness. It needs to be of help. And, that's pretty much the way I'm going to go into 2020. You got a theme for 2020? Have you thought about it?
Not yet. I need to have a word, a power word.
Yeah, power word. Think about that.
For real.
I encourage everybody out there to think about your word for 2020.
Power word, y'all. Get y'all power words for 2020. And if y'all have them, go ahead and chime in on my live.
Yeah. Do you have?
Well.
Do you do vision boards? Do you believe in vision boards?
I have not done a vision board, but you know what, Sunny? Girl, I will tell you.
Gosh.
If I showed you the amount of notebooks that I have, that I got Habakkuk 2 and 2 all laced up on everywhere, I do need to do a vision board. And as a matter of fact, when I was with this,
you can do a vision board party at the church. You following, you're doing all of these things. That needs to be part of your vision, even with the youth.
That's true.
Get them some good, everybody collect magazines and have them just spread out all over the floor and have at it. Then do a presentation at the end. Yeah. I didn't even, because we did that. I was over with I Am a Marvelous Creation at the Buor, BUOR Live. They have like a big hair show thing, and she does a youth empowerment seminar there every year. And so I was there with them, and they did vision boards as well. And the kids, some of them caught on to the concept, but then some of them didn't. But I think that would be good because it's a visual. It's just a visual reminder, basically, of what it is that they want to do or what they aspire to do. That'll be good. They constantly see, because the mind, it constantly sees something. So it as they say, the mind seeing something over and over and over and over and over again, it allows it to do the work. subconsciously it begins to make room for the work that you have to do. But some time ago, so I'm for the youth, and I had this business. I've had probably about 10, 15 DBAs, no lie, because I had these ideas, and I just go out there and be like, oh. So this one particular DBA, I gotta see if I still have it, but it was called Youth Turn, YOUTH Turn, right? And it was about what the vision for it was. I probably shouldn't even put it out here in the world, but I am anyway, whatever. The vision for that was I would do trade shows for youth. So I used to work for PBAMU when I first got out of college for the 4-H program, and they would do trade shows for these youth trade shows, and I would go out into the community and go to these different public schools, and the teachers would set up this youth entrepreneurship space, and so every year we would put on this showcase, and all the pipe and drape, it would be nice. They get a 10 by 10 space, or however, I can't even tell you how long, but it was whatever they wanted, whether they did, if they redesigned flip-flops, or they created something or sold t-shirts, whatever it was their business. And so the U-turn, I was trying to mimic that and make it my own, but to have a program, probably kind of sort of like the way you have it set up, but in regard to youth entrepreneurship. So what you would do is do maybe like a incubated program, maybe like 6 months, and like really like hone in, almost maybe like a pageant, and then teach them how to build their cars, teach them marketing. Let me write this stuff down.
Yeah, while you sitting there.
But teach them marketing, teach them, all of the necessary things, and then boom, in 6 months, boom, we do a showcase, we pass out flyers, you be like, look, we're going to be here, this date and time, everybody set up their stuff, and then the people come and buy their things. So I just put a whole idea out there for you.
Yeah, and that was one, when I do the Game Changers, I don't know if you see that logo, that was one of the things that I wanted to have the younger entrepreneurs there with their little businesses, because I'm having another event on November 16th. It's a pop-up shop, and that's another thing that I have going on, Game Changers. It's just a group of business owners, small business owners, and I'm just really trying to propel and push them forward in their businesses, because they're not the big brand businesses, and they're actually doing good things. So we just get together once a month, and we have an event, and either it's just networking or we're doing a panel. And this next one that's coming, we have these 2 little fellas, 5 and 6 year old brothers. They like to make t-shirts. They're the future somebodies. So they will be there. And then one of my other nieces, she does flip-flops, and she has her own lip gloss line. She calls it Paris Cosmetics. I said, what you been doing in Paris this summer? Oh, I've been busy with my business. I think Paris is 13.
Yeah.
Busy with my business. I said, girl, what business you have? She said, Paris Queenie Cosmetics. I was like, are you kidding me, girl? And she was like, no, ma'am, for real, ain't Dana, let me show you. So that was my intention, to have it where it was all, youth business owners. But your idea sounds excellent. So just let me know if you need some help, because I'm always willing to, for the kids, and financial literacy. The FDIC has a program, and you can get the curriculum for financial literacy from kindergarten up to senior citizens. It tells all the details. It has the instructors and anyone else out there that may need this resource. The financial literacy, it's called Money Smart, and that would be a good part of that entrepreneur program as well, teaching them about financial literacy, and that has programs from kindergarten on up, so as little as possible. That's available as well. That was one of the programs that I had come up with, Smart Money Kids, with the $ as the S at the beginning and the $ as with the S at the end. But and that was just to teach financial literacy, because a lot of things we aren't taught. And I'm old. I'm older than you, Sunny. I'm 47. Yeah, we weren't necessarily taught. Yeah, we were just watching our parents survive.
That's it.
So now it's our chance, to just show them all these different things that they really need to know, like for real, financial literacy. They need to be confident as far as education, everything. They just need it all. They need it all. And they're not always going to get it at home.
True that. So what are your final words?
Stand up, stand out, be you. No, just whatever situation you're in, just always be yourself. And as long as you be yourself, there's no faking the funk. There's no faking it till you make it. Just be the person that God created you to be. And as long as you do that, you can't go wrong. You can't make a mistake just being you. Again, that's my theme. Stand up, stand out, be you. I'm Dana Hammond. My book is Be You, 8 Weeks of Self-Love and Discovery. And you can reach me on Facebook, Dana, D-A-N-A, Hammond. And thank you for having me on, Sunni.
Yes, you're very welcome.
And we're going to be working on Be You Fit Kids. If y'all interested in the Be You Fit Kids, or even the quarterly drive for kids, where we're going to be letting them donate and give to other people who are not as fortunate, just give me a holler. Y'all have my email address, or just hit me up on Facebook. Y'all, Sunni is the bomb. Y'all, Sunni's friends over there looking, she's the bomb. I love her. Sweetheart, always the same whenever I see her again. I appreciate you. Just stay the same, stay humble. That's why you're always going to do big things. You're always going to, because you're humble. And that's the way we have to be.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for coming on my show. Thank you for blessing me being here. All right, stay tuned. See you next week, you guys.
Bye,
Peace.
y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, family. Bye.